Hello, I'm Juan Davis, Chief Creative Officer at KCT and PBS SoCal, and I'm joined with the newsroom of KPCC and LAist on a daily reporter roundup. Today was supposed to be a big day for LA County courts. Court officials were scheduled to do a beta test of a jury trial, which have yet to resume. Emily, what happened next?
Yes, that trial did not go through because the defendant is in county jail and the dorm where he was in got quarantined because of COVID-19 exposure. So they couldn't transport him to the courtroom. This is something that court employees have worried about. And also the jurors are worried about their safety. So I talked to a woman who was on the jury, was supposed to be on the jury that day and was one of the prospective jurors. And she said that, the judge, he asked people to raise their hand if they were scared of coming in that day. And only 3 out of 15 people raised their hands, which, seems a little bit low considering the people that I've talked to who've been very afraid about going in and serving. The court says that they've increased social distancing, they've increased cleaning, and they're, really ready to get people back into the courtroom.
There was another fatal shooting at a party house in LA, and these houses have become even more controversial during the pandemic. Robert looked into how big a concern this is.
Yeah, it's at least the second time someone's been killed at a so-called party house this month, specifically in the Beverly Crest neighborhood. I talked with someone who's with the neighborhood council there, and she said 2 recent incidents, these last 2 ones, are the only time she's heard of a shooting at a house party in the 10 years she's lived in the neighborhood. She said people are afraid and they're annoyed that the parties haven't been stopped. An existing county order that prohibits gatherings during the pandemic hasn't deterred these big parties from proliferating in hillside neighborhoods. It's really not a new problem, though. Residents have bristled at these rental or Airbnb spots that have become makeshift nightclubs for years. The city attorney's office says it's reviewing several party house cases submitted by the LAPD. And earlier this month, we had Mayor Eric Garcetti order the utilities shut off at one big party house several TikTok stars were calling home.
Cal State Fullerton's president took an unusual step today. Adolfo has more.
Yeah, the president of Cal State Fullerton said it's severing its ties with Stephen Mihaylo, who is the university's biggest donor. This is over allegations of unethical requests. Stephen Mihaylo graduated from Cal State Fullerton, and he runs a telecommunications company based in Tempe, Arizona. He's been very generous with his alma mater. He gave $4 million in 2004, and then a couple of years later, doubled that amount out of a promised $30 million donation. But the university says that Mihaylo made a very unusual request, that he said he would only release the rest of the donation if Cal State Fullerton would purchase telecommunications equipment from his company and hire Republican professors. Cal State Fullerton President Fran Vergy said that he told Mihaylo no, that that's unethical and possibly illegal. The university said it's making this matter public after years of trying to work things out. Stephen Mihaylo could not be reached for a comment about these allegations.
So many caregivers are struggling to balance childcare, schooling, and their own jobs. Mariana reports on how LA Unified is exploring ways to ease that burden during distance learning.
So the district's 7-member board voted on Tuesday to have the superintendent report back to them on what exactly it would take to expand childcare for more families. Starting on Monday, the district is going to have some childcare for about 3,000 kids of staff members at more than 200 school sites. Board member Nick Melvoin's resolution asked Superintendent Buettner to get more information on how to safely expand that program, which is already going to be, I think, the largest that we've seen since the start of the pandemic. And he'd also like to be able to offer extra academic support to those kids. The resolution also asks how the district could prioritize children of essential workers, foster and homeless youth, English language learners, and children with disabilities. Buettner cautioned that the public should not really expect a large-scale expansion anytime soon, though.
Well, thank you so much to all of you at the KPCC and LAist newsroom, and thank you for tuning in. Take care of your health, your neighbor, your family, and we will see you tomorrow.